How do their chums as I, Captain Stephen. I'm joined by...
Unicorn Chelscy.
There we go, Unicorn Chelscy. So, now No Man's Sky is actually aimed at a PEGI7, so it's in between the ages of 7 and like 12, and Chelsea's bang in the middle of that age range. So I thought I'd throw on No Man's Sky, let Chelsea have a go, and do a bit of a sort of review, give her opinion. Is it okay for her age range, and does she actually enjoy it? So what sort of games do you like playing normally, Chelsea?
Mario Kart and Smash Bros.
Cool. So I have got a game, a bit like Smash Bros, on the PlayStation called Brawler Hauler, which you're going to try out a bit later. It's probably going to be in this video, in fact, we'll chuck a bit in there. But anyway, so this is you initialising on a planet. So what do you think of the graphics when you first spawn in?
I think it's really good. And
Yeah? Cool. And what about the sound effects?
it's very scary, but also it matches the theme.
That's a good analysis. The music's done by a group called 60 Days of Static or something like that, and a lot of it's procedurally generated, just like the planets in a roundabout way. So every planet that you start on is never actually the same, and that one's quite cool with all the glowing caves and the weird crab creatures, but you're arachnophobic, aren't you? So, not a fan of the crab creatures. There's one with all these tentacles that flies past her later, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" I'm like, you can have that as a pet. No, thank you. Yeah, so that was quite cool. So, when you first start, what did you think of the tutorial, like the messages that appear in the bottom and what you've got to do? Did it all make sense?
Some of the words, like, how do I explain this? I think younger children, like under 12, can't really understand it. So I feel like the words should be more like understandable for the younger children.
Yeah, so there was one there like iteration and anomaly. There was a few words that you was like, so what does that mean? I was like, well, anomaly is something that's anomalous, something that can't be identified, that sort of thing. But yeah, the words, they are quite a little bit... There's different words they could have used that would have been more understandable to the wider audience. So yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. But you see that your energy bar was going down quite rapidly. Did you feel that you was panicked slightly? Did you feel that you was going to die?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you enjoy the challenge?
Kind of.
Kind of. You think it could have been a little bit easier? I mean, I gave her a few indications and a few pointers. I said I wasn't going to, but I couldn't help myself because she was going to die. And I think she had about 5 seconds left and she only just managed to get the sodium into her hazard protection and survived. But then after that, she managed to create the metal plating. She got the what's it called, the hermetic seal, and actually took off in the ship. So you did a fair bit of it on your own, didn't you? And yeah. And you kind of were getting into it, but then after we took off and we flew from one planet to another planet, what did you think of the new planet that you landed on?
It was quite different. It had like more colors, and it was very cool.
And the only thing is, though, is a lot of the resources that you're seeing on one planet to another is like the sodium plants, the blue crystals that you see. Everything seems to be very generic. Once you've seen it on one planet, it's on the next planet, where it'd be nice if they mixed it up a bit. Like so on one planet it might be yellow plants, but on another one it might be yellow crystals or something that you're picking up or something. It just doesn't. It feels like it's the same stuff on different planets, doesn't it? It doesn't really feel like you're moving too far forwards. So I think this is where we got back to the ship and you managed to fix your ship, your launch thrusters, and then taking off. How did you find the controls for flight?
It was very hard for me.
Yeah. So you're going to see a little bit here. Here you go. We'll disappear for a second. We'll watch her take off. Okay, as you can see, I think we all had experiences like that when we first took off. I don't think it matters if you're 10, 12, whatever. The first time you take off, that's the experience you usually get. It's supposed to be this awe-inspiring thing. Oh, I've taken off and can go anywhere, I can do anything. But instead you end up dragging the front of your ship across the ground. Don't worry, we've all done that. We've all done that, Chelsea. It's a little bit crazy. But yeah, it's an interesting game, but... If you was given the choice of games to play, what sort of games would you play? You've already said, haven't you? The Smash Brothers, Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So if somebody said to you, what would you rather play? No Man's Sky or one of those?
Mario Kart and Smash Bros.
Cool. So if you was going to score, say, Mario Kart out of 100, what would you score Mario Kart?
I'd say about 97.
A 97 for Mario Kart. I'm with you on that. Hitting someone with a red shell. It's so funny, isn't it? But yeah, so No Man's Sky, if you was to rate No Man's Sky. Now, you already played No Man's Sky for about an hour and a half. What would you rate it?
I'd say out of 100.
Yeah, out of 100, yeah.
I'd say 67.
A 67. Awesome. Now, although that Chelscy only played it for about an hour and a half, I did actually throw on my save, and I showed her some of the bases, some of the best bases, Star Wars ones, which admittedly Chelscy has never watched Star Wars, which is a crime. We need to get you watching Star Wars because it's freaking awesome. Have you even watched The Mandalorian with the little Yoda in it? No? Oh, no. We've got to do something about that. Right. But yeah, anyway, so we visited some awesome bases. I showed Chelscy the Nexus. I showed sort of the missions that you can do. I showed that there was I showed her pretty much everything that is later game. And even then, you was like, yeah, it's not quite fun. Yeah, which there is a bit of a fun element missing there. And when you don't really understand the text as much and the actual narrative that's coming up, I mean, reading-wise, did you want to read it or did you just hammer the button after a while?
I just didn't want to read it.
No, because you didn't understand half the words, which is the thing. Now, a lot of people out there, myself included, think that Hello Games should really just have creative mode aimed, or maybe even make a separate game for the younger audience and downplay some of the wordage because they do like it. Just make it a little bit more fun. A bit like the Expeditions, maybe do that. Add in some easier lore, and then maybe they can progress from the No Man's Sky that they have been playing into this one as they get older and they want more of a challenge. And this one, make it more audio orientated and make it more of a challenge. Add aliens in there, a bit more of a challenge, and bad guys and puzzles and things for the adult audience. I mean, make two separate games is kind of what we're saying. So this is when we landed on that other planet, and this planet had me a little bit confused because we didn't see any hazard protection come up, and I was like, what biome is this? Never did bother scanning it to find out, but it's a bit of an odd one. But yeah, it's a bit more different than the first planet, isn't it? And you kind of liked the sky though, didn't you? You remarked on how cool it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've only just improved the clouds and they've also improved the night sky on the game. So the graphics wise you quite liked it. And you kind of enjoyed blasting rocks for a little while, didn't you? But then afterwards, it was like, well, what else is there to do? That's actually what Chelscy said, is there anything fun to do inside of it? I said, well, you can do some missions. And she was like, well, what are the missions? And I'm like, well, you pick stuff up and you take it somewhere, and then it's not fun. Yeah, it's one of those. In the end, we ended up putting on Brawler Hauler, and I think you played Brawler Hauler just as much as you did this. So out of Brawler Hauler and No Man's Sky, what would you score Brawler Hauler? Just out of interest.
I guess 85.
An 85 for Brawler Hauler. And you said it wasn't as good as Smash Brothers, which I don't think is as good as Smash Brothers. What would you have given Smash Brothers then?
Compared to...
Well, just out of 100.
97, I think.
A 97, just like Mario Kart. So Brawler Nintendo seems to be the winner for people of Chelsea's age range. So yeah, I think PlayStation has got quite a lot to do to captivate the younger audience, to be fair. But yeah, so overall, No Man's Sky is a 67, and it's got room for improvement. Hopefully the new update's going to bring some of that. But here we go. So this was Chelscy playing Brawler Hauler. She's a little guy she just knocked somebody completely out of the arena there. But yeah, you can see that she got -7 points. You came fourth. you still loved it, didn't you? Yeah, so there we go. And this was me showing Chelscy some of the better bases in No Man's Sky and showing her some of the later game stuff. But even still, it didn't really overly spike your interest. Do you ever play Minecraft at all?
No.
So base building doesn't overly appeal to you then, building a base? No. Cool. So yeah, there's elements of No Man's Sky that will appeal to some people, and other elements that won't. There's also music that you can make. I didn't actually show you that bit, but you can make your own tunes. But yeah, there's so much you can do in No Man's Sky. But at the same time, like you pointed out, what's the fun things to do? I did actually ride one of my little pet creatures. I summoned out one of my creatures and we flew around on that. That raised a couple of laughs. So yeah, there are some things that you probably would really enjoy. It takes a while. It takes a long while, in fact, to get to the real enjoyable elements that people of the age group of PEGI7 to 12 will actually enjoy. So yeah, it's one of those. It's not one that you're going to be getting yourself, is it? No. Fair enough. Roblox is more your thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Roblox. Cool. Righto, so that's kind of the final verdict. A 67 from Chelscy. If I was to rate it, being me, I'm a bit biased, Captain Steve, that only plays No Man's Sky, I would still only rate it probably around about an 84, 85, mainly because it's got a lot of bugs, and it hasn't got a lot of game elements in the game. It's still an experience rather than a game. So I have to agree with Chelscy. There's not a lot of fun to be had there, unless you're with a group and you actually have fun building bases and doing things collectively. Otherwise, a solo experience, it's still a little bit of a hollow one. After you've done the story mode, there's not much else there. So anyway, that's pretty much me and Chelscy done. So, you want to say goodbye?
Bye-bye.
There we go. Goodbye, people. Take care. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe, and I'd like to say a massive great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers! And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve that little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.